Hey guys, it's Jan Shartay and I'm back again with another video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about making sales online. So just a precursor to this video, I wanted to tell you guys that my business has been going spectacular, or has been spectacular since the pandemic and everything. It's been going a lot better than I expected and a lot better than it typically is going. So I'm making money a lot faster. My Instagram following is growing. I'm seeing consistent website traffic and just so much. So I wanted to make this video to talk to you guys about some of the things that's working really well for me and just things that work really well for me in general to help drive sales in my business. So if you're interested in how to make more sales and make sales more consistently in your business, then stay tuned. All right, so I'm going to divide this video up into 5 tips just for the sake of organization. So my first tip is going to be to stay consistent and active on social media. So I'm going to use that as my first tip because I know that a lot of new business owners especially use social media as their primary way of marketing and promoting their brand and their products. So if you're not consistent on those platforms, it's not going to do you any good. If you have the goal of, increasing your following, increasing your engagement, driving traffic to your website from your social media, the only way that you can do that consistently is for you to be consistent on those platforms. So whatever platform you choose to use, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever the case may be, you need to be consistent on it. So I think sometimes people get hung up on the word consistent because they believe consistent means every day. Consistent just means you choosing a schedule that is convenient or that works for you and you consistently doing that. So if consistent for you is every other day, then that's what consistent is. If consistent for you is every 2 days, that's what consistent is. If consistent for you is every week, that's what consistent is. But also you have to be realistic about what results you're going to get from the consistency that you choose to put into your business. So you're a lot more likely to see more consistent traffic on your website via, for example, every day if you're posting on your social media every day. And along with that, giving people the call to action to visit your website, to click the link in your bio. So sometimes people post consistently, consistent by way of like every day, but they don't see very much traffic to their website. And that tends to be because they didn't, one, give them a call to action to visit the website. So not to say people are silly or slow or anything like that, but it's a lot easier for you to get someone to take an action when you tell them what action you want them to take. So tell them to click the link in your bio. Tell them to visit your website to see your new arrivals or to see that new dress or whatever it is that you're promoting about. So tell people what you want them to do. So if you're, let's say you decide that consistent for you is every other day, you shouldn't really expect for there to be traffic coming to your website every single day from your social media because you didn't post anything. There's nothing for your audience. You haven't given your audience a reason to go visit your website. So it is 100% possible for someone to land on your website on a day that you did not post. If you're using hashtags and things like that, that increases the visibility of your brand and it puts your post in front of more eyes. So if they are searching that hashtag and they just so happen to land on your content on a day that you did not post, it increases the likelihood of them, finding your brand and then ultimately possibly visiting your website. So I just want you guys to be realistic about the results that you will see from social media based on the amount of time that you dedicate to social media. Additionally, I want to make sure that you know that you don't have to post on your feed every single day. So even if you decided that you wanted to post on social media every day, but that didn't really seem realistic to you, or you're just maybe worried about the quality of the content that you would need to produce every day in order to see the results you want to see on your social media, tell yourself that you'll dedicate time to social media every day, but not necessarily to your feed. So you might post every other day on your feed, but every single day you're posting on your stories. So you're always dedicating some time and effort to posting your stories. I personally really enjoy posting on my stories because I don't feel like I have to think as hard about what that content looks like, what I'm gonna say in that content. I feel like it gives me a lot more freedom to just simply share in the moment versus me being very planned out and things like that. So not to say you shouldn't plan any of your content for your stories, but I feel like it just gives you a lot more flexibility and freedom to just post. And also stories can work to your benefit because unlike the feed, the way that the Instagram algorithm works on a feed is that Instagram shows people more of the content that they're interested in, versus on your stories are still shown in chronological order. So the more times you post, you get put back at the front of the line. So for example, if you post something at 3:44, your story pops up at the front. And then if somebody else post something at 3:45 right after you, then their post is going to move back in front of yours. But then if you post something at 3:46, yours moves back in front of theirs. So the more you post on your stories, the more likely people are to see your content. So I tend to put more of my effort towards my stories than my feed, because I know that I have an increased chance of people interacting with my brand via stories than on my feed. So my first tip is for you to be consistent on social media, especially if social media is your primary way of promoting your brand and your products. All right, so my next tip is for you to use your own photos. So some of y'all are not gonna like me for telling you this, but you need to use your own photos. So I know that there's a lot of people who are like, I don't have the capability to use my own photos, or, I don't wanna be my own model, or my clothes aren't necessarily for me, or they don't fit me, or whatever the case. You have people who, there's just people who don't want to use their own photos. They think it's a lot easier for them to just snag somebody else's photos from their profile or from their website, screenshot it and upload it to their platforms and call it their own. I'm going to discourage you from doing that. Don't do it. I'm going to speak for myself and all other boutique owners out there who spend an crazy amount of time taking photos for our boutiques, for our online stores. It takes so much time and effort for us to plan those photo shoots, to edit those photos, to upload them to our websites and all that. We did that work for us and for our brands and for our customers. You need to do the same. So if you cannot be your own model, I recommend that you find someone who can be your model. If it's your little sister, your cousin, your mom, your aunt, whoever. If it's somebody you find on Instagram or Facebook who has a really nice physique and you think they would look great in your photos, ask them if they would be interested in modeling for you. Do what you have to do in order for you to be able to use your photos. And I'm not only telling you to use your own photos because, us boutique owners don't like for other people to use our photos. It can increase your sales. So I've talked to numerous people on my coaching calls, or people who have taken my content creation course where I teach you guys how to take your own photos at home. I've talked to so many women who've told me that they saw a drastic increase in their sales and ultimately their revenue when they switched from using stock photos or using other boutiques photos and switched over to using their own photography. So mostly when these people use photos of themselves, it increases the trust that people have in your brand, and it increases your credibility. And one of the reasons why it increases your credibility, or let me go back. So one of the reasons why it decreases your credibility or the trust that people have with your brand when you use other people's photos is because a lot of times people can identify where this content came from, which decreases their trust in the fact that they are going to receive what's in that picture. So I know for some people in their mind, they believe, I'm selling the same thing as her, and I know that it's the same, and it's just easier for me to use her photo. But me as a consumer, when I land on someone else's page and I see that every single image is of someone else from another boutique, especially when I know what boutique it's from, it completely diminishes any amount of trust that I would have had in shopping with that person, simply because I cannot guarantee that I'm going to receive what's in that photo. There's no way for me to know that that is what is going to be presented to me. So when I or you use your own photos and I can clearly see that item on your body, knowing that you are the owner of that business, it increases the likelihood of someone wanting to buy it because they know that they're going to get what's presented there. So I encourage you guys to take some time to, if you have to, learn how to take your own photos because it can increase your sales. So having brand trust, having credibility with your audience is one of the easiest and most important ways to go about making sales or increasing your sales. So use your own photos because it's going to increase the likelihood of someone trusting your brand and ultimately making a purchase. All right, so my next tip to increase your sales is to diversify your content. So use different types of content. That's the easiest way that I can summarize that. So photos, videos, quotes, whatever you can think of. Use things that will diversify essentially your brand's personality. So I always like to say that every brand should have a personality. So think about your brand as if it were a person. How would that person come across in their messaging? Like, what do they talk like? What do they sound like? What types of words do they use? Are they funny? Are they, very lighthearted and sweet? Like, how would you describe your brand if it were a person? And then once you've determined that, push that into your content. So for example, I'll try to put a screenshot from some of the posts that I've posted in the past few weeks on my social media. So like my brand, I considered it to be very vibrant, very like humble but fun and funny and hilarious, things like that. So like just more like down to earth, very like girl next door, I'm your friend, let's have a good time type of thing. So I tend to post content that relates those types of messages. So things that make my audience laugh, things that like just go throughout my head throughout the day and that are just super funny, memes, things that are just like going on in my life that I know are going on in other people's lives. So like right now with the pandemic and everything, I'm just like, I bet somebody else is thinking the same thing. So I've been posting a lot of content that's in relation to that. So think about your brand as if it was a personality or as if it had a personality, and think about what type of or how you can exude that personality through your content. So again, videos, photos, graphics, quotes, things of that nature. Think about how you can show various types of content on your profiles or within your brand that are not in relation to your product. So as I mentioned in the last tip, you want to increase trust in your brand. You want to increase credibility. Basically, you want people to get to know your brand for what you want it to be presented as. And sometimes, yes, your products are great. Your prices are cool. The quality of your imagery is great. But there's still that lack of trust. So you adding that bit of personality into your brand can enhance the trust that someone has in your brand. It tells them like, oh, this is a person who is associated with this, or that there's a person associated with this brand, a person who has a personality, and they resonate with that. So think about how you can diversify your content by way of including content that is not in relation to your product. So I know that probably sounds backwards. You're like, how can I make more sales if I'm not showing my product? I'm not telling you to not share your product. I'm not telling you to make your page be overwhelmed with quotes. That's not what I'm saying. I am simply saying that you need to add in other types of content that is not in relation to your products. I was just talking to a bunch of girls on Instagram Live last night, and we were all talking about going live on our boutiques page. And so I was talking about how I go live a lot on my personal page, but I don't go live very often on my boutiques Instagram. And so we were all challenging each other to go live more. And it makes sense for you to do that and not talk about your products. So I'm not saying that you should not ever talk about your products. You should definitely go live and try to sell some of your products, live. But simply getting on live just to say like, hey, my name is Jance. I'm the owner of Braids and Boutique. I just wanted to introduce myself because I know I've gotten a lot of followers in the last couple weeks. And I just wanted you to know the person associated with this brand. I wanted you to know the person behind all those pictures that you see throughout the week. I'm a real person. This is why I started the boutique, whatever the case may be. Just like having conversation with people allows them to get to know you as a person, and also to get to know something about your brand that maybe they can't see through the content that you produced, or like through your product photography. So my third tip is to diversify your content. All right, so my next tip is an important one. This is like the meat and bones of the whole situation. You need to follow up and follow through with anybody who has came into interaction with your brand. So I'm not gonna say anybody, not everybody, because not everybody's your ideal customer. But for example, let's say you have people commenting on your graphics or your posts on Instagram asking questions about an item, people who are asking, when something's gonna get restocked, follow up with those people. So if you restock something and you know that there were people who commented and said like they wanted that thing, but their size was sold out, comment back and say, hey, just wanted to let you know that blue skirt you were looking at a couple weeks ago is back in stock and we have your size. And I'm going to DM you the link if you're still interested. You know, you can DM them. You don't even have to comment. You could DM them and say, hey, Brittany, I just wanted to let you know that item you were looking at a couple weeks ago is back, and I wanted to give you the link so that you could purchase it. And here's a coupon code that you can use to purchase it today. Follow up with people who you know are already interested in your brand. Abandoned carts. I pray that you have Shopify. If you don't have Shopify, I pray that whatever platform you use gives you the capability to follow up with people who have abandoned their carts. If you don't have Shopify, your email marketing platform should give you the option to set up email automations where you can basically retarget people who have abandoned their carts. Follow up with those people. That's literal money waiting to happen. And 9 times out of 10, there's usually like a couple reasons why people abandon a cart. So like they've added all these items to the cart and then they saw the price and they're like, ooh, that's a lot. So they're waiting for a coupon, they're waiting for a sale, whatever. So follow up. If you are running a sale, if you're down to the last of some item, and you know that there were a bunch of abandoned carts that had the item in it, reach out to those people and say, hey, just wanted to let you know that we're down to the last 2 of this item. I noticed you left it behind in your cart. We saved it for you. Again, if you have Shopify, Shopify literally saves the URL for a person's cart. So they literally can click that URL and it'll take them back to their cart. Follow up with people. So if you are running a sale and you had an abandoned cart, let's say it was like $200, that's money. You need that, I'm sure. So follow up with those people. Hey, just wanted to let you know that we're running a sale this weekend. It ends on Sunday at midnight. Here's a coupon code that you can use, whatever. Follow up with people. The money is literally in the follow up and follow through. So another part the second part to following up is email marketing and email automation. So I love email marketing, and it's so funny because when I first started my business, I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was collecting emails and I wasn't using them. But I use my email marketing heavily these days, and not just me sending out an email to my entire email list, but I literally take time to segment my audience based on the amount of money they've spent, based on the amount of orders they have, based on what they purchased in the past. So many ways. You can segment your audience in so many ways. And if you want to learn more about email marketing, I'll put a link in the description bar to my email marketing masterclass. You guys can check that out. So email marketing, depending on what platform you have, will give you the capability to segment your audience based on actions that they took in the past, the amount of money they've spent, the number of orders they have, things they purchased. So many ways for you to basically contact these people. So I like to set up email automations based on all of these different things that happen throughout my business. So when a person makes a purchase, they receive an automatic email that says, thank you for making a purchase, or thank you for shopping with us. We really appreciate you as a customer. And if you have any questions or you just want to chat, you just want to say hi, reply to this email. And literally people will reply to the email and say, hey, I just want to let you know I got my blue skirt today and it's so cute. I love it. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy you love your skirt, Brittany. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know we just got this really amazing blouse in, and it will go so great with that blue skirt that you got. So not to say that you have to have something in stock to go with that, but the mere fact that I had this automation set up to send to that person increased the and what it said in the email. So me telling them like they could reply, increase the likelihood of them replying, which increases my chances of getting them to come back to my site. So now I have the opportunity to say, hey, I just wanted to let you know we got something else that you might like. So I also have email automation set up for like after a person has made a certain number of orders, and also after they've made spent a certain amount. So they'll start to receive emails every 30 days, or like 30 days from a purchase, or 45 days from a purchase. Like I literally set it up on a schedule, and they just receive emails on a schedule. Like I don't even have to touch it. It just happens, and money just happens in my business. Like I have, an email that's sent after, for example, I have a welcome series set up for anyone who signs up for my email list. So over a 30-day period, they receive 4 emails from my brand, and each one of them says something else or says something different. And basically, I'm leading people on a journey towards making a purchase. And then once they start to take actions, they start to get entered into other automations. So I'm literally not touching my emails except for when I'm sending out a manual email for like if I'm running a sale or something like that. I have all these automations set up that literally just make money happen in my business. So there could be, for example, let's say on a random Tuesday, I got 50 new email subscribers, and I had an automation set up for 30 days from now. Every person who is signed up for my email list automatically will get a coupon code that gives them 50% off of their next purchase or something. So 30 days from now, all 50 of those people who sign up for my email list on that random Tuesday are going to get an email from me that says, here's a coupon code for 50% off your next purchase. This is an example, by the way. But now I have 50 potential customers that may buy something from me 30 days from now, and I didn't have to do a thing because I had this automation set up. So what was this tip? I forgot what this tip was. Following up with past customers and potential customers. So follow up and follow through. And emails can play a huge role in your ability to follow up and follow through without you literally having to do anything. So tip number 4, follow up and follow through with your people. Before I go to the next tip, also pay attention to the actions that people take as they interact with your brand on social media and things like that. So like as you increase in followers, you increase in engagement, you notice that like someone comments on your post a lot or something like that, like show those people that they're valuable to you. And if you get a bunch of followers one day, take a moment to send a message to, if you want all of them, but just a few of them, and say, hey, I just want to thank you so much for following our brand today. Doesn't have to include a coupon or anything. You definitely can if you want to, but just taking those extra steps to be a person, be a human, and say thank you for supporting my brand, even if it is just following. If you notice someone is commenting regularly, take a moment and say, hey, I just want to thank you so much for always, commenting or encouraging us or complimenting our styles. I wanted to extend a coupon code to you that you can use on your next purchase. So again, follow up and follow through. All right, so let's go to this last tip. All right, so my very last tip is for you to set aside time and a budget for marketing. So I usually tell people not to run ads unless they know what they're doing, and I am going to stick with that. Don't run those ads unless you know what you're doing. But once you've learned what you're doing, or once you have clearly mapped out what your marketing strategy is, dedicate some time and some money to marketing, paid marketing. So emails, as I mentioned in the previous tip, that's a form of marketing. But I also want people to invest more time and money into ads. It can work so wonderfully. In the last week, literally, I have had 2 clients of mine. I don't even know, so one of them, she has been working on her ads for a month or so, maybe a little bit over a month. And she has gotten to the point now where she's making her weekly salary in a day from running ads. And she was just running them at $5 a day. Now she's increased it to $10 and $20 a day. She's making her entire week's salary in a day. And in a week, she is making her entire month's salary. Crazy. So ads can work wonders in a business, but you need to know what you're doing first. So first and foremost, I want all of you guys to take some time and dedicate it to learning how to run ads. And then set aside a budget specifically for the purposes of running ads. And then watch the money flow in. So there's tons of other things mixed in there with your ability to learn how to run ads. I'm not gonna say it's something easy or anything that you learn overnight. I'm not saying that. And I'm also not saying that you are guaranteed to make money the first time you run ads. It's not what I'm saying. I am just simply saying that there is money to be made in ads, but you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta have some patience, you gotta have some time, and you also need a budget that you are clearly okay with investing in ads. So I don't have much of a tip in alignment or much other advice in alignment with that tip, because again, there's so much that goes into learning how to run ads. I'll put the link to my my intro to ads course in the description bar, but I kid you not, I get a message almost every day from one of my clients saying that they have been running ads and they're making money. Like they're making money. So learning a new skill such as running ads can increase your sales significantly. Like I have some days where I have weeks, literally weeks, where I don't do anything in my business but run. I start an ad and then I let it run and I make money. I'm spending $5 a day to make hundreds of dollars. It's crazy. So again, just to reiterate, spend some time learning how to run ads and then set aside a budget to run some ads. Yes. All right, guys. So those are my 5 tips that I have for you guys to increase your sales. I know y'all probably was waiting for me to give you some step-by-step situation. I want to make sure I am clear when I say that there is no step-by-step situation. There is no step-by-step anything that is going to work for every single person in their business. You literally have to take time to find what works for you. But these 5 tips that I have given you are literal guarantees. If you learn that ads one, if you learn what you're doing, these are guarantees that you can increase your sales. Consistency, that first tip, is the biggest key. If you are going to do anything and not do it consistently, you shouldn't expect consistent results. Point blank, period. So again, just to reiterate, be consistent on social, but honestly, just be consistent in general. And be consistent and dedicated to doing better. You should never, ever, ever post something on Monday and then what you post on Tuesday is worse than what you posted on Monday. So it should either be the same quality consistently, or you should consistently be getting better. My next tip is for you to use your own photos. Use your own photos, okay? Stop stealing photos. Number 3, diversify your content. Don't rely on just photos or just videos or just this, that, and the other. Diversify your content. Number 4, follow up and follow through with your audience on social, in emails, abandoned carts, all that. Follow up with people. And then number 5, set aside some time and a budget to marketing, paid marketing, ads. All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I've been a bit MIA. I've had a lot going on in my life. Some tragedy. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah, so I am pushing through as much as I can, and I thank you guys so much for sticking with me and following me on social and engaging with me and all that. So thank y'all for God, I can't even talk. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, comment, let me know what you want to see a future video about, and I will see you guys in the next one.